Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy98 here. Welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2019 career mode for you guys today here on the channel. Needs to clear my throat there. But we're here for the Singapore Grand Prix now, and I'm going to start trying to hopefully get a few more videos out a little bit more often now for career mode over this week, just to try and catch up a little bit. But as you can see on the R&D chart side of things, you can see that another one of my upgrades failed. What a surprise. The major chassis weight upgrade, or the redistribution that I was going to do on the car. Oh, look, it failed. What an absolute shock. I've never seen an upgrade on my McLaren fail before. Let me take a sip before I talk about that one again. We had another failure on the upgrade side of things. I don't know what that was. But yeah, you can see Renault, I don't know what they're doing. They're on crack cocaine right now. They're flying through it, and yeah, they're very far in front. And you can see that there they are, top the table, ahead of Ferrari, who have jumped in front of Mercedes for this time around. As we now go in towards qualifying here for the Singapore Grand Prix. A little bit of a change for this episode. I actually changed the braking assist to go to low ABS for the Singapore Grand Prix. With there being so many heavy braking zones around here, I just wanted to spend a little bit of extra time learning the track a little bit. And basically, when it comes to recording these videos, I don't really have time to learn loads. So when I was in practice, really was struggling, and I was faster with low ABS. So for this episode, I changed it to low ABS. I can tell you for the future episodes onwards, it's back at literally fully no assists. It's only for today's episode, but eventually now I'm starting to get a hang of it around Singapore, so we should be fine next time around. But Q1, we got through in P9. Q2 now, and we're coming on through. We've got a worn gearbox, actually, which I didn't realise. It's on 62%, but we should hopefully try and get it through into this Grand Prix weekend. This time around, though, in Q2, very solid lap from us. P6 in the end it was. Really happy with the lap, and it just unfolded quite nicely for myself. And you can see there, only Hamilton was different, and he starts on the medium tyres. Norris, my teammate, knocked out in Q2. So that's a little bit of a ball ache, but we can kind of work with that and move forward with it as we now move on in towards Q3 here. And as you can see on my lap now, this is my first lap here. Sainz crosses the line, does a 1:34.0 to be the fastest man on track. We set a 1:34.1, only 4/100ths down on Carlos Sainz, which is amazing considering that Renault is the fastest car on the grid. But now, as you can see here, we've gone fastest through the first two sectors here with Perez fastest on a 1:33.7. We come across the line 1:33.6, which was provisional pole, but it does drop us down to P8. Okay. Right. Great. Sergio Perez just improved by 1.7 seconds. That's logical. Thanks, Codemasters. Well, there goes a very high qualifying position. It's going to be P8 on the grid. That really kicks me right in the testes. But it's a Renault front row lockout, which is quite interesting. But that is going to be it then for qualifying. It's P8. There's nothing I can do about it. Race pace looked really strong for Singapore. So hopefully we should have a lot of fun. But without further ado, guys, let's get straight into things. Let's get into the race for the Singapore Grand Prix, and let's see how we can get on.
Hello and welcome one and all to the shining streets of Singapore. Can you believe we've been coming here for nearly a decade now? It feels like only yesterday that Felipe Massa was dragging his fuel hose down the pit lane in that eventful opening race, and in a Grand Prix won from pole position more often than not, will we see a new victor crowned today? The Marina Bay Street Circuit then has 23 corners, 13 to the left and 10 to the right, taking us a total of 3.1 miles around the landmarks of downtown Singapore. An average lap speed around here, just 107 miles per hour. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson. We should talk about Williams. They've had just one retirement in the last 5 races. What do you think that says about the reliability of their car?
It's a good statistic for sure, as it demonstrates not only mechanical reliability, but consistency from both drivers as well. These are two of the first boxes you have to tick for any successful season.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. It's Sergio Perez on pole position today. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking at the rest of today's grid, We have Vettel, Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton and Grosjean, Thomas, Magnussen, Butler and Valtteri Bottas. They've taken a grid penalty. Weber, Stroll, Pierre Gasly and Verstappen, Russell, Hülkenberg, Kimi Raikkonen and Alexander Albon, Giovinazzi and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Alright then, so we're here on the grid then to start the Singapore Grand Prix. It's going to be P7 after grid penalties behind, but it's a 5 red lights and it's lights out. We go here to start the Singapore Grand Prix. Good start from us. Initially, we now have to cover the inside line in towards the first corner. It's a good start actually there as we make a little bit of contact there with one of the Haas cars. I think it's Romain Grosjean who we've made a little bit of contact with now, but we get past him quite nice and easily as we now make the charge here down in towards the first end, or the end of the first sector here. It is Carlos Sainz that leads the Grand Prix ahead of Sergio Perez. Vettel, is next in line, followed by Charles and Hamilton coming on through. We now go side by side with absolutely nobody. I was meant to say side by side Charles Leclerc with Hamilton. Oops. But nevertheless, though, you can see here that we're going to go down inside now. Lewis Hamilton got compromised a little bit by Charles having a bit of an issue there. Very close to the wall there goes Lewis Hamilton, but now he's going to continue to fight this one actually. So fair play to Lewis. We have to stick it around the outside. And now as we go towards the old famous, what used to be Singapore Sling, we are a little bit further back here, but we do eventually just about lose out, unfortunately, to Hamilton. He just had a little bit more straight line speed. I've gone for a lot of downforce around here, and it definitely cost me a little bit, but now we go down inside of Hamilton there. Actually, I think we might have just tapped Charles Leclerc's rear wing there. A bit over-ambitious there on the brakes, but we do get it done, and now eventually can cover off the inside line, as Lewis Hamilton has nowhere to go there, so that's great. Just want to also mention, whilst you're going to continue to ride on board with the rest of the lap, the new patch, patch 1.8 for F1, that was a corner cutting extension one, by the way. The new patch 1.8, which updates the visuals on a lot of the Formula 1 cars on the grid, that won't take effect in my career modes until the Mexican Grand Prix. So for, actually no, sorry, it wasn't the previous corner. That corner that I just did then was where I got the corner cutting extension. I know I had one at the end of the first lap, but it was there. But yeah, so the visual update is not going to take place for the Mexican Grand Prix in my career modes. Like I said, because I've been recording a couple of episodes in front, I have slowed down on recordings now, and I've only just finished Mexico, so I'm basically just waiting, or no, if I finish Mexico, no, I finished USA, my bad, so it's USA that it comes into I don't really remember the calendar, to be honest. No, it's USA when the visual update is going to come into effect. Like I said, I've been recording quite far in front, but I have now slowed down considerably. In fact, I don't think I've recorded a career mode race in a while, because obviously I need to just basically catch up and get the videos out. For us though, we're coming into the pits here on the end of lap 5 now, and it was a little bit of a slow pit stop. Got held up slightly by one of the Renault cars there, but nonetheless though, we actually, in fact, one of the Ferraris, I think, is that Charles Leclerc? Yeah, Charles Leclerc jumped Sergio Perez in the stops there, so good stuff from Ferrari boys there. For us though, we're still right in contention. In the first 5 laps, we were doing absolutely everything and sweating my living balls off to keep up with the Renaults and the Ferraris. They had more pace than me, but I was trying absolutely everything to stay with them. And now we rejoin P17, P18 and P19, and now as you can see, we're trying to blast onwards and get a bit of momentum shifting, and maybe through the traffic we might be able to take some advantage. And here's Sergio Perez now passing Antonio Giovinazzi in the Alfa Romeo. Now it's my turn to pass the Alpha and through and towards the Anderson Bridge. This is going to be quite a simple overtake. A little bit of a bump there, but at the end of the day, you've got to do a little bit of wheel-to-wheel racing. It's wheel-to-wheel. If you don't have the barge, you're a bit boring. We get past Giovinazzi, but you can see the train of cars that we've got to get through next. You can see Perez now really struggling to find a way past Alex Albon. This might just be a great chance for us now as we go towards the bridge once again. Weirdly, my favourite overtaking spot, I'm very close to the wall, diving now in towards the inside line here, and we get past Sergio Perez on the inside, but Sergio's going to hold it around the outside, and now we have to have a straight drag here. I've got the slipstream of Albon in my favour. Albon actually just lets me go. Oh, wow. He just opened up the corner for me. I was boxed in there by Albon and Sergio. Sergio could have dove it down the inside of Albon and took the position I would have been stuck behind, but no, Albon said, you know what, I'm going to help Foxy today, so thank you very much, Albon. I will remember that for next time. Now on to lap 9 of the Grand Prix here. We're catching up to Kimi Raikkonen, who's also just in front, got Sebastian Vettel. So we're getting very close on the act here now. We get a great exit though versus Kimi Raikkonen, but with the high downforce set that we are running, we are going to lose out to Raikkonen. We go around the outside though and confirm the overtake there, and we open up the DRS now and we can pull away from Kimi and get onto the back of Vettel as soon as we possibly can here. And you can see there's still some traffic up ahead. And speaking of that traffic, here it is now. We set the fastest middle sector actually of the race. so far, but unfortunately it's going to come to nothing as we go very deep on the brakes there versus myself and Hulkenberg. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel connection there, but eventually Hulkenberg lifted off and gave me a little bit of the space there because I still had my car on that side and I wasn't really going to back down here. Now onto lap 12 of the Grand Prix, Vettel goes to the outside line versus Norris, still trying to fight our way through all this traffic, and look at the train up ahead coming up. There's so many cars to deal with, and now we've got a good run here at Lando. I've got to be very careful there. I might have gently tapped Vettel there, getting very lucky with my front wing here. Constantly checking it, but it was such a light contact there with Vettel. And now speaking of Seb, he's actually got Charles Leclerc in front, in between him and George Russell. But for myself, I like this bridge and I'm going to use it more often as I now go down the inside of Sebastian here. Annoyingly though, I'm not going to have the straight line speed here versus Seb. He actually comes back at me, as you can see here, but now I've still got the outside line, so I'm still in contention here versus Vettel. Keep that tight line for Sebastian. Very, very oversteer on the exit there, but we just about hold on. We have to confirm the overtake though in the next 2 corners in this chicane here, and there we go, done the move on Sebastian Vettel. Next up is George Russell, and in terms of the top 4 that I'm trying to chase down, I've now passed 2 of the top 4, so we are in a net P3 at the moment, but we still need to find a way past Carlos Sainz, and we've still got to find a way past Charles Leclerc, so it's not all done and dusted yet. Now the cars start to come into the pits here, which is a bit of a frustration time for myself, because now of course I've really got to try and work through the pain of Vettel and also Perez all over my backside. So yeah, this is not going to go well for me. And speaking of not going well, this is what I mean by having a high downforce setup on my car. It was nice seeing you third place. Bye. See you later, Seb. There's nothing I could do to defend the position there. We dropped down into P4. All I want to do, though, is just try and stick with him onto lap 18 of the Grand Prix, though. Myself, Vettel, and Perez have all stayed out, whereas Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc have actually come in for a stop. So they're coming in a little bit earlier here. But Charles Leclerc, though, is out of the Singapore Grand Prix. And I swear to God, this guy does not get a break, because Charles Leclerc is constantly retiring in my career mode. That Ferrari is so unreliable here, but for us though, we're going to bump the wall a bit, but we're going to try the undercut on Vettel. Sebastian has stayed out for a lap longer, and I'm now going to use that into my advantage and get the undercut on Sebastian, and that's what we're going for here. So we missed the Renault pit box there. We come into our pit box. Now I've got to see if my pit crew can get me a good stop here. That's a great stop, 1.9 seconds. And if we had anything any longer, like a 2.4 stop or anything like that, we would have been behind Sergio Perez. So it's a sensational stop there. Some traffic to get through though. One of those is Sainz. However, if you look in the top left there, Sainz is actually on hard tyres. So him and Leclerc had actually stopped for hards beforehand. And crucially, Hamilton has just jumped in front of Sergio Perez. And that's going to give me just a little bit of an edge here. I think Lewis is going to be in DRS range of myself, so we might just be okay with it. And you can see there's the Renault and the Hamilton scrapping away there now. Meanwhile, for Sainz, though, he's stuck behind Lucas Weber and also Kevin Magnussen in the battle for what will be second place. For myself, though, I kind of want to clear these cars quite quickly because I've got Vettel to basically undercut here. And by going through all these positions, it's just not helping me. I get the overtake done on Sainz. Sainz is going to get a better exit than me though, but we've got the inside line this time around, and we can do a great job here to defend the position, break a little bit early, then carry that mid-corner speed to open up my exit and compromise the guy on the outside. Lap 21 to lap 31, Vettel is just at the fastest lap for 132.7, 137.2. We set a 136.7 new fastest lap, but it wasn't enough, unfortunately. Sebastian Vettel is going to come across the line. There he goes to win the Singapore Grand Prix. For myself, though, it's going to be second place for this race. A sensational drive. I worked really hard for that one. Sweated my balls off.
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Fermé. What a fantastic race it was. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
Alright then, so as you can see then, we're on the final screen here, and you can see how we've managed to get on. It was a really strong race for myself. It was myself, Vettel beating myself, then Sainz and Perez, Perez and Sainz, sorry. In the Drivers' Championship, we are now 14 points behind Valtteri Bottas as we once again managed to beat him in today's race, and that championship gap closes again. And with Vettel taking the race win, that brings him now into championship play, level on points with Lewis Hamilton. So the championship is getting much tighter now between the lot of us, and it's really interesting to see that as we obviously have our interview with Claire. But for this time around, I'm going to basically just cut you off, Claire, and just talk over you. But yeah, so first question though, she was talking about Weber. At the end of the day, I don't give a crap about Weber. Then she actually talks about me, which is a complete shock. I didn't think she'd actually do an interview with me about me. It's amazing. I was really happy with the car though in terms of the balance of it. And again, she talks about, you know, if Lando Norris has learned anything from me, what he's learned is that I'm being nice, basically. And then she goes on about my expectations. So she said that I'm surpassing everything and that I'm an actual god in life. And I totally agree with that. So yeah, that's all that Claire's got to say, but that's going to wrap it up for this career mode. But yeah, we had really good pace. Sergio Perez eventually got past Valtteri Bottas, or Hamilton was it, that was holding him up. But because he was held up for so long, he didn't get enough time to actually close up onto the back of me and make the overtake. If he had a couple more laps, he would have done it. But yeah, we managed to beat Sainz fair and square. Leclerc DNF, so that's a bit of a shame for him. But anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed the video, feel free to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here as well. And yeah, I will see you guys for the next episode, which I think is the Russian Grand Prix, if I can remember off the top of my head. But yeah, until then, guys, I will see you then. So take care all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.